secret love and everyone.
So the next thing that was on my mind is, with this kind of music, especially now, I'm wondering, what's your favorite venue? What kind of situations are really kind of cool to play nowadays? And we hear the voices coming across the room.
Did you guys hear that?
I heard something.
I've never done that. I can't speak for them, but I enjoy the intimate, more acoustic style settings like the living room concerts and
The in-house concerts, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the smaller the better, because once again, that's what we're trying to capture with the music in general, is the intimacy of feeling like you're sitting around in a small group, just hanging out with friends. So the smaller the group, the easier it is.
Now, you mentioned you guys just played at the Poorhouse. What happens at a place like that? Is it the typical, everybody's drinking and paying attention and doing other things, and, oh yeah, there's a band? Or do they really get into
They were
it?
pretty attentive,
Yeah.
You know, we tend to, the bigger the venue, I think, to kind of fill up that space, we tend to put a little more energy into it as well.
Sure.
You know, the bigger the stage is, the more space there is between you and the crowd, the more you feel like you have to project your energy out. So they tend to be a little more rocking in bigger venues.
We love playing everywhere, though. I mean, we just like to play music, so there's no...
Yeah, so we prefer the house concerts, but, we'll play a bar.
Will you?
Yeah, of course.
I like playing private gigs, too. I like it all. It's all, everything's got something different to offer, so,
Sure.
yeah.
But, as far as what we do, the house concerts and stuff like that, with the, just it maybe captures our original idea a little better. But of course, in the grand scheme of things, you would like to be playing these huge full rooms, right?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you next, is like, what would be the ultimate gig? What would be the ultimate stage to play on?
I always used to say Madison Square Garden, just because it's, that's what people should say to that question. I think, just 'cause I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's, it would be, to be on that stage in front of so many people would just be one of those, like, but I mean, even just, maybe like a festival in Raleigh in front of 1,000 people, start small, but
But you don't have a big dream? You don't have some place like the holy grail of gigs? Any of you?
Mine would probably be that in New York, I guess. Sold out crowd at Madison Square Garden.
I don't, other than just being able to put a lot of money into production value and getting to sound perfect and, and being able to add more to the, show. I don't...
The stage wouldn't matter, it's the quality of the show.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love these velvet curtains you got going on. So, I tend to like the old theaters, the old style theaters from the 40s, 50s, that kind of stuff.
Do they have anything like the Carolina Theater in your area? You know what I'm talking about here?
Yeah, I love the Carolina Theater.
That's
that place
awesome.
is wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. I would think a gig in a place like that would probably be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've always really enjoyed the older theaters and a place with history.
Yeah.
Either a really nice outdoor stage or something that has been around for a while that has a lot of spirit to it already.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I love North Carolina, so playing in some of these old theaters in North Carolina is nice, and just people, to me, it's not about where you play; it's about the audience, and just a big happy crowd is the goal. So.
Well, we've just gotten our own little amphitheater here too, so I'm really hopefully going to be able to talk to a band one day that's played there, because I'd like to see what that experience is like. What was I going to ask you? I had a question on my back. Music, is there another CD on the way?
It's right here.
But it's not right here yet.
It's here. It's just
released
a little here.
We just released this last one at the end of December.
Yeah.
So we've been touring on it technically 4 months. So it's like maybe we just continue touring on that while saving up money for the next, because that's...
How long can you ride on one CD though? It seems like people have short attention spans and are kind of
By the end
insatiable.
of the year, we'll be working on the next one. We've kind of had to put a cork on her, and she's blowing up with all these new songs, and we're like, well, chill out, let's play.
That was interesting, I like that.
I told you, she's a fountain of music.
Figuratively.
Yes, okay. All right, so you'll just kind of...
I've been writing songs. Yeah, I've been writing songs, and I've actually got, I've got a couple finished that are new, and I've got several that are very close to being finished, and we're also going to be putting in some different covers and everything. You know, our needs change as we go along. You know, we always want to keep it fresh, so we're going to be injecting some new covers in very soon. And we like doing songs that are, you know, that we think are fun to do. And so yeah, I mean, you know, just add a couple in to the set here and there, and then, you know, we'll have the next album.
So yeah,
but
if
you're
you
right.
do the same thing over the course of this
Right.
year, then you'll be ready.
But
with
you're right,
all-
though. I feel like, I've said it before, that modern times are sort of like low attention span theater nowadays.
I
And
believe so.
it takes more to keep people's attention.
Yeah.
And so that's part of it too, is I really like working with filmmakers and, you know, always trying to look towards maybe doing music videos to kind of bring more attention. We put up videos of covers that we really like, that sort of thing. So, you know, it's all about keeping things fresh on, I guess, the internet and the social media, all that stuff, and just, you know.
Yeah, most bands, I mean, if you look at the average band, you know, they're putting out about one a year. You know, there are other bands that are, you know, doing one or, you know, a couple, like a lot of electronic artists and things like
Yeah.
that, where you're just sitting
It's
there with
a
a
little
computer,
bit-
you know, and it's like, okay,
Yes.
it's an album,
Yes.
you know, but, you know, there's not this large process involved.
Now, we're not implying anything against electronic artists.
Love you.
I didn't mean- love you people. All right, yes,
Love you.
absolutely. Just for the record.
The albums might be a little easier when you're the producer and the musician and everything that's right there. But just saying, you know, like about a year would probably, in some bands, I mean, you know, 2 or 3 years, you know, those tour on. And granted, because, you know, it's like, oh, you got the East Coast, but now you go to our, you know, the like southern part, or, you know, in the Midwest, or all the way out to the other coast. These people haven't even heard of you or the album. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Right.
you know,
And
now,
are you going to get that far?
well, yeah.
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 We're going for broke. We're very persistent humans.
I mean,
So you're willing to travel as far
It's
as,
not
as the booking will
We're
take you?
tenacious.
It's
We're
not
tenacious,
necessarily
absolutely.
hard to play the West Coast. You just gotta book the shows
Right.
and have a plan.
We've got fans out on the West Coast that
Yeah.
are telling us, come.
So
You know, we
who
just
does the
gotta.
booking?
Right now, it's kind of like as it comes. We have a little outside help with Craig Younger Brother Productions one time.
Younger
And,
Brother Productions.
and,
Gotta raise a fist, I guess.
Yeah, and you know, just as it comes to us, you know, like we don't, you know, because we all know people that are like, hey,
Kind
you
of like
play this
me
show?
when I approached
Yeah,
you.
exactly. So it's
Right.
like, you know, there's not like a dedicated. It's just kind of like,
Yeah, we book
You know,
a
if this
lot of that, but we
happens.
do get occasional help from some outside promoters, and that's always nice to take a little bit of the burden off and at least have a
Right.
few shows that we don't have to, you know, coordinate all the details with. But up until now, we've done most of the business stuff and juggle that along with all the, you know, the fun music stuff too. So
Are you hoping to get picked up?
we're
Picked
really,
up by what?
we're
A label?
particular- well,
I mean,
a
If they can
label.
offer us more than we can do for ourselves, I think that's kind of the, you know, if someone can do something more for us than we can ourselves, so.
without
Yeah.
signing your life away.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly.
It's like-
Well, I was just thinking in terms of, it's got to be quite an undertaking to book just even a national tour of a few
It's an
months.
undertaking.
Well, we're
to
starting
book
North
a small
Carolina,
tour,
so.
yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
just because, you know, it's all about logistics and routing, which, you know, it seems pretty common sense, but, you know, it's like, okay, well, we booked this show, now we need to book this show a day ahead and this show a day behind, so now you're calling places with this specific date. Do you have this date? You know, there's
Yeah.
no guarantee that they do, so
Right.
maybe you're just driving 6 hours to play that one show. You know what I mean? So it's like, it really shows you the entire beast that is being in this industry, you know, like where it's not just like, oh, because I'm going to play some music and everything's, I mean, it's like there's a business side of it.
Oh, absolutely.
I would
You know.
love, yeah, I think it'd be great to have a dedicated full-time music booking agent just for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong.
yeah,
it'd
we're
be-
basically trying to push it as far as we can on our own right now until we just can't handle it anymore.
Well, I think it's a lot easier to do more for yourself, and it pays off in the end,
Well, it's like-
especially because you still own your own life.
Yeah.
And you talk to, you know, like I've had the ear of a couple pretty big management people, and, you know, it's kind of like, we're not going to help you until you can help us. And that means, you know, like having, you know, a 200 to 300 person draw in 5 to 6 local markets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And at that point, they'll swoop right in,
Yes,
pick
they'll
you
be
up, you know what I
glad
mean?
to
And they'll
help
be so
you.
glad to help you,
Yes.
you know what I mean? So it's like, so it's just being tenacious and getting to that point, and then they'll come calling. But
Once you get to that level, maybe it's just as well for you to keep
Well, see,
all
so,
of that and
that's
carry
what they
on.
said, once you get to that level, you're gonna actually reach a point as a musician to where you can no longer do it yourself.
You can't handle
Yeah,
it.
You
don't have the
cannot,
time
like,
to do the music.
you're gonna be calling asking for help instead of, hey, can you use your connections to make us big? It's like,
Right.
I can't book this anymore
Yeah.
and make music and continue to keep my sanity, so I need help. And like, once once you're so busy, you get to that point, I guess help just manifests, that's what everybody seems to say, like once you get, it's like this magic point, once you really start showing and people start noticing you, then they go, oh, hey, that band's doing really good, I wonder who's representing them. No one, oh, it's time to make a phone call. You know what I mean? So it's like, and that's actually been from a couple like high up type, management people where they've been like, we're not gonna help you until we can make money from you.
Of course.
And that's what
We're
this
gonna want-
is,
yeah.
part of the beast.
It's all about this.
Okay.
What do you think about the internet? I've had a lot of conversations with musicians about the internet being both a blessing and a curse. My opinion is it gives a lot of people opportunity, but it also has created a huge sea now that you have to find a way to stand out in. What do you think? You agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the end, it's good or bad, whatever, it is what it is, it's change, and I embrace it. I think it's great. You think back in the day before everybody had internet and a recording studio in their bedroom.
Right.
You put down an album, you were the musician, and you went to see the producer and the engineer, and you went to the studio, and then you went to, you like had all these different jobs, but now you kind of have to be a Renaissance person if you're a musician. You're recording it, you're producing it,
You're booking it, you're
booking
traveling,
you're doing
yeah,
everything
you're-
yourself.
yeah.
So it kind of requires you to be a jack of all trades and not just be a musician and also with like digital downloads and things like that, you can't depend as much on your album sales to get out.
Right.
You're just hoping and praying somebody's going to hear your music. So we sell CDs, but I'm always happy if people are like, you mind if I burn it for my friend? I'm like, just spread
Go
it.
ahead.
Please spread the music. That's what's the most important thing. So I know a lot of people are still holding on real tight to that old model of music where, it's like, oh, don't share music or don't steal music or whatever you want to call it. But in the end, you just want to be heard. And if people really like your music, they will support you. They'll come to your shows, they'll buy, whatever you're selling, merch, t-shirts, whatever, and they'll spread the word about you, which is the most important thing.
Do you guys spend a lot of time marketing on the internet? Is that a big chunk of what you do?
Good.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, there's no way you cannot. If you are in a band today, I'll go ahead and say it, if you're in a band today and you're not utilizing the internet, you're doing it wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean?
All right, now compare that to live show. Do you put as much weight in live shows as you do internet? Because it seems like something about that personal connection too is real important
So
for people.
Exactly, but how do you promote your live show?
Well, that's...
You know what I mean? On the internet. So it's
Right.
like, it's kind of, so you work a mailing list, right? And you gather these signatures up, you put them on your actual, and there's a difference, like internet and Facebook, you know what I'm saying? Like Facebook is not, I don't think, as important for a band. I think it is, and I think likes are important and all that, but getting people funneling to your
own
website
yeah.
is actually like where it matters the most.
Facebook is more of a closed community. I mean, it's only as big as however many friends of friends of friends you have.
Right.
It stops somewhere. The internet does not really stop.
But then, it's getting out
Yeah.
there, like you said, there is this sea
Yeah.
of like, bands that
And then what do you do? Stand out. How do you, hello, I'm over here.
You turn yourself into a Muppet.
You just,
Oh, yes, there you go.
yeah, I mean, you approach it from like, you're not necessarily trying to do the next big thing, but maybe you just kind of be yourself and create
Just be
music.
genuine.
Just be genuine, and then, maybe, hopefully, with any luck, the music that just kind of happens when you're being genuine is different enough. Cause there's a lot of bands, they'll latch onto a gimmick, there'll be a gimmick,
Yeah.
and that is the one thing maybe that can get you up and above.
But you
I'm
can't
not
live that forever.
But you
I'm
can't
not
live
about
that.
gimmicks.
You
I
can't,
like gimmicks.
but you can't live
They're
that
fun.
forever. I mean, a lot of times, people that choose the gimmick,
I say gimmicks are good, but as long as you have something to back up behind it, you know what I mean? Everyone uses, a gimmick, but as long as you have the real music behind it.
As long as it's not too put on or too,
Well, I mean, what are you calling, what are you calling a gimmick?
Well, I don't know. We should ask him. He started the whole gimmick idea.
What's a gimmick?
I mean, she makes me put on this wig every day.
And you wear it well.
He's, okay, and just to answer anybody's questions who's curious, he's been growing these dreads for 14 years. They are real. And that's all I have to say about that. And they are very...
I think we've blown that out of the water.
I mean, so how about for a certain extent, we don't wear this hanging out at the house?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just, it's a subtle gimmick, but it is a gimmick because now people are like, oh, you know, you're dressing up, you know what I mean? That's not, a lot of bands do dress up, but a lot of bands don't. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, so even, it might not be something as in your face, you know, like it, but it's just something that's, like I said, genuine, right? It's like
But this is a comfortable look for you. I mean, you feel...
Yeah.
You don't feel like I'm stepping out into Ringling Brothers with my suit on, right?
I don't wake up on Sunday mornings and go,
oh, come on,
time to
tell
put
me
the
the
suit
truth. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Just the socks and shoes.
Just the shoes.
Wait, don't you have holsters for your socks, Eric? Like, what do they call it?
Not today. My sock garters.
Sock garters. He's got sock garters.
Sock suspenders, man.
That is so cool.
That's kind of gimmicky.
So old school.
Yeah. Well, I guess my thing about live or the internet, I was also thinking about, you know, there are people doing stage things now. Have you guys done any of those kind of things?
You mean as far?
It's like an online concert?
Like a streaming thing?
Yeah, streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we've
you've
had
done
a couple
those?
concert stream.
What kind of response or,
Good.
yeah?
Well, it's also nice because, I mean, you know, through networking sites like Facebook, I mean, you know, connecting with people that are, you know, like all over the place. You know, I had people up in the Northeast watching, people out in California watching, family down in South Carolina that got to watch, you know, a couple of our concerts. So, you know, it's really nice to be able to spread it out to people who aren't, you know, necessarily in your region to go see.
That's awesome, I think.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's where the internet is really cool, because you could literally play across the world if you had enough connections.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.